Man, just go eat a Sith sandwich or something, okay? Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of ZETAs Prevails. Today we're going to talk about the different Sith ZETAs out there. It's exciting times, folks. I actually don't know if this is going to be well received or not, so give me feedback if you will. And we're also going to be choosing the next faction. Hopefully you voted in either this video or the more recent video that was the Sith faction being ranked. You can find the link to that one in the video description, by the way. And if you want to, the other big piece and element of all of this, guys, is the fact that you can get this infographic. It's found in now, as of the release of this video, you can find it in my Discord server. You can find the link to that in the video description, and it'll just be initially at least in the channel called Infographics, kind of toward the bottom of the server. Come hang out with us though, guys. We have what, over 6,000 members at this point. It's a bustling metropolis of Swagga life, and it's wonderful actually. So let's now thank my patrons. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for your support and everything. You guys are amazing. You truly are. And guys, remember to if you want to support this channel for free, all you've got to do is hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, comment, do something to mount the algorithm. It's wonderful. It's so cool. Now, real quick, guys, hold on. What have we done? That was madness. Okay. I want to show you guys this real quick. So the first, we're going to rank all the ZETAs. We have also the Omicrons ranked. That I do an Omicron ranking video every once in a while. You guys can find all of that discussion there. However, you can see that the Galactic Legends are number 1 through 6 and number 1 through 6. There's a total of 36, and the first 12 are just the 2 Galactic Legends. They are placed in the order I think they should be placed. So a lot of people, they're like, man, I unlocked Lord Vader and he's great, and I can only apply 4 ZETAs. I'm like, all right, apply 1 through 4. Then, in my opinion, they're power ranked, whatever. But I don't think it's healthy, frankly, to compare. You're like, oh man, the Sith Eternal ZETA, not as good as this Darth Revan one. Like, to me, you should be putting all of your ZETAs on the Galactic Legends that you can, if you can. But trying to say like, oh no, I decided not to because of because some other character outranked. Like, in my opinion, Galactic Legends are just a tier above everyone else, and whereas there's like 1 or 2 total that I'm like, yeah, maybe you don't need it. They're all, to me, very, very vital. Now, you can see I've divided all the other ones up into groups of 8, and the ones in the first 8 are going to be like the really vital ones, the super important ones. And then the other ones, the orange ones, are like, yeah, they're pretty awesome. And then the rest of them, none of them are like the worst ever, but you could definitely do a little bit better for yourself by being discriminating about them, I suppose. So let's go to the game, and whoa, we're in the game. Madness. That sounded very mechanical, didn't it? Or something. So, alright, starting at number 13 here, guys, and I'm going to refer to this. Alright, so we've got Emperor Palpatine, and his lead, folks. His lead is probably the most impactful that you're going to have. It's not just that he's pretty good, like he's a good character. You can unlock him early. He's also just super relevant for two of the really important factions, Sith and Empire, and you can mix and match. And he's with a bunch of really powerful people, and there's just not enough. Like, I'll tell you what, if at some point CG starts releasing a lot of different squads that mess with turn meter gain and manipulation, that's when Palpatine is going to go out of style a little bit. His power index will decrease a little because like, he does a lot of cool stuff on his lead, but the big thing is whenever a debuff on an enemy expires, Empire and Sith allies gain 5% turn meter. So it's like, if you can make your Darth Vader go first, for instance, he does his Force Crush and then he gets turn meter because of other reasons. You guys can read the rest of his kit, but he gains a bunch of turn meters from the 20% here, and he goes again, and when he throws his saber, all of his, like, he'll dispel all of those debuffs, like at least 4 debuffs on people if he applied them. And if he does that, then everyone on his team, if they're Sith or Empire, are going to gain 20% turn meter. And it's just pretty magic, guys. It's an old school Zeta, and in my opinion, it's still one of the very strongest. It's kind of nutty like that. Alright, so next, we've got Darth Vader, and I like all of his, but the best one that he has, guys, is Merciless Massacre. Now, it's a little bit weird to be talking about this one. It's a special, but then it's also informed a little bit by the unique. The unique is actually in the next group, because, I mean, they're all good Zetas, but you gotta make choices. Merciless Massacre, though, that's what makes current Vader as strong as he is, because you can, especially in 5s, you can get endless loops of Merciless Massacre if you could take enough people out. Which, I mean, I guess that's kind of adhering to the game, the dictates of the game anyway. So yeah, he's very, very strong, guys. He's it's cooldown 9, and yet he still just demolishes people. It's pretty cool. Just hits everyone in the whole squad, and I mean, he gets extra offense when he's doing it, and just make sure that when you're using it, you don't hit a tank twice or it ends immediately. His ship is also very, very relevant, guys. Keep in mind, the shuttle and Vader's ship, like, both very strong candidates for things, though. That's actually, gosh, I say that, but the reason I say that, the thing is, the ships don't come into anything for Zetas, so never mind. Just totally disregard my talking about ships. Alright, Traya and her lead. Now, I like both of what she does. The unique, it dispels debuffs on a Sith team. Wonderful. You can't really get much better than that. However, Traya's lead is the iconic one. It's almost overpowered against certain squads. It penalizes people heavily for assisting and helping each other, and it's just wonderful. It's, you know, her name is Traya. Like, she's gonna betray ya. Like, Traya will betray ya. And it's like, oh, she'll betray me? You're like, well, that too. But she really messes with people. She gives a bunch of good stats. I mean, she's been good for years and years, and she's maintained that level of goodness to the point that you want to use her all the time on all sorts of squads. Her Omicron is on her unique, I believe, and that ends up being really good. It's one of the best Omicrons in the game, but even beyond that, she just impacts her squad so much, and it's just so ball-busting to face her sometimes that she just maintains, I mean, she's really good. She's really good, guys, but she wouldn't be nearly as scary if she didn't have that Zeta applied on her leadership. Look at how much text that is. That's a lot of text for one leadership compared to what the rest of it is. Alright, next we have Malgus, and this is his special 2. This is his big hit here, I believe. No? Why did it say special 2? Nobody frickin' knows, guys. What is it? This one? Oh no, I guess this is a special. I'm thinking of Omicrons. I apologize, guys. So, yeah, special 2. This is his big hit. I mean, and you know, like, so he has what? He has 2 or 3 Zetas. I forget off the top of my head. I think just 2. And this one is awesome because he hits so dang hard. Deal true damage to target enemy equal to 40% of his max health. It's just really, really strong, guys. And I mean, and you can read the whole thing. Just the impact on it. Remember when he was first released, they released a Datacron for him, and all they had him doing was spamming this move. Like, it just reset his cooldowns every time he did. So every turn, he just did a huge hit, and he was so impossible to kill. He was very impressive. What a jerk, man. Really, really cool stuff, though. Kind of jealous of those days. I remember that being really, really good. And, you know, it does doubt. This is the one place in the game that it talks about, like, what doubt actually is. Very, very strong. Malik is our 5th, and it's his unique 1. And that's just if you hit him and crit him, you're going to be feared. And fear skips a turn. You skip a full turn when that happens, which, because he passively taunts, you don't a lot of times have an option of whether you're going to hit him or not. And then the person hitting him, you're like, man, I don't need, like, that was a waste of turns. I don't want to hit the tank. We're not going to kill him this turn just by him being shot. But then if you crit him, then you're feared, and his taunt persists. Like, it's such a perversely strong ability, guys, especially against the AI, but I mean even against players. Like, now that everyone has him at relic 9 because of the Leviathan requirements, he is going, this is his reign of terror, his reign of fear, I guess. Unfortunately, that doesn't include having a chin bone, so that's too bad. Alright, next group, guys. The next one is going to be Malgus again, but this is his basic, and the basic is actually something I kind of overlooked when I looked at it. It's like, really? I did not know he had his Zeta on basic, and I did not know it did that. He gained, so when he attacks twice, which is not guaranteed, he only attacks twice for sure against Jedi, but then he has a 50% chance to attack a second time. Anyways, he gains 20% max health, and that max health feeds directly into, well, you guessed it, Dark Deception. I like to think of this as Dark Decapitation, honestly. It messes with people. But this is based on his total max health, and this gives him 100% more health. And because he counters a lot, he's going to get this really quick. So he actually ramps damage pretty good. This is an avenue of ramping that I had just kind of had a blind spot for. So like, this is good that I'm doing these rankings anyways, because this is helpful. But this is integral to his kit. It is very, very important to have him have as much health as possible so that he can just one-shot people. He can tank like crazy. I mean, 100% extra health is nuts, guys. I mean, I already have him at 161, and that's before the crit avoid, wherever that is. The crit, yeah, 35% crit avoid. He's a thick boy. I'll just say that. I mean, he's relic 9, but he's also, if you have Leviathan, you might want to. The Fury's kind of a weak link in that squad. He dies a lot. All right, Malik, his second and final Zeta. This is his what? His unique 2. Oh, that's right. So these are his bonus turns. So he gains, let's see. Yeah, so he gains all this stuff when he's less than half. The first time Darth Malik reaches each of these thresholds, so that's 75%, 50, and 25%. He gains a bonus turn, and the cooldown of Drain Life is reset. So a part of his value is people hit him, and then they fear themselves because they crit him, and then he takes an immediate turn of Force Drains, and then if someone else hits him as well, because he's not done taunting, then he can take another turn and does the Force Drain, and it's an enormously impactful ability, and it's a little less important maybe than him fearing people passively and taunting passively, but this one is his damage dealing aspect, and it's quite fearsome compared to a lot of different characters. Like, as a tank, he would be fine if he didn't do any damage. Honestly, he'd be fine. But because he also does a crazy amount of damage, it's like, hey, give me 100% of your max health. Oh, you're dead? That's cool, man. My jaw has been dead for a long time. Darth Revan, finally, he barely made the cut here, guys, and this is his leadership. All of his Zetas, I was like, really? They're all, like, fine, but they're not crazy strong. So what they are, Sith Empire allies are immune to turn meter reduction while they're debuffed. I think this is a vital Zeta, guys. I think it's vital because it's going to stop people from stealing all your turn meter. You can't have that. You're the leader. You're the leader and ruler of the Sith Empire. You can't have people stealing your turn meter willy-nilly, all right? Alright, next up, number 21. This is into the awesome category. His unique. His unique is the one that makes it so that he's immune to turn meter manipulation, and he heals himself whenever a damage over time expires. So that's really nice. And then he also dispels stealth from all enemies when he activates Merciless Massacre. This is very, very strong. I really wanted to find a way to get this into the first row. I just couldn't. There's too many really strong ones, guys. Treya, she dispels all debuffs on all of her on all of her friends whenever they take a turn. So she passively cleanses them. It does hurt them a little bit for every debuff dispelled, and that can actually come close to killing them. In fact, it doesn't say that you can't kill yourself doing it. So you gotta look out. She's gonna betray you. Savage, so his Zeta is so crazy when you combine it with his Omicron. Of course, this isn't ranking his Omicron or anything, but the fact that he takes damage. Whenever he takes damage, he gains defense up, heal over time, and offense up for 2 turns. He gains turn meter whenever he gets hit, and you know he's countering. He's doing all this crazy stuff. And eventually you get the Omicron, and that's obviously really good. And the fact is, he's not very good without his Omicron, and so this is why it's just it's good. It's a good one. It's not crazy good. So Palpatine's unique. That just makes him more survivable, and you really want that because you're facing Rey. She does a whirlwind. 50% extra max protection is actually pretty good, and then he also makes himself stronger every time. Whenever he hits someone, whenever he inflicts shock, he gains 5% max protection, which is nice. I mean, he doesn't have a ton of protection to begin with, but you get that extra 50% and then 5% as additions to that. It adds up, guys. It does add up. All right, next group. All right, Darth Talon. She is let's see, what is it? Our unique? It's the one that gives speed, or no, it's whenever the leader is damaged, all allies gain 5% turn meter. It's just it's really strong, guys. Every time, so if someone does an AoE, your whole team get 5% turn meter. That can really ruin someone's day, especially on squads that already have a lot of like pretty ruthless turn meter manipulation abilities. Now, Red Trooper, he's the one, I think he's a unique, where whenever he, so whenever someone from the First Order or Sith is defeated, the cooldown of his AoE is reset, and then he gains advantage for 1 turn and takes a bonus turn. So he immediately gets to shoot someone and do an AoE, which really helps with Supreme Leader Kylo's ultimate, because that'll be another 25% on his ultimate. He also just he does a lot of good work here, guys. But is this absolutely vital for him to be good? Like, he already assists, he cleanses everyone, like he does some good stuff like that. That's a nice one. It's a fearsome one. It's just yeah, you want it eventually. It's just not crazy strong. All right, Darth Revan, here is his second one. It's his unique, and let's see, this is the one that no one can assist against him, which is nice because it makes it really tough to kill him. It kind of goes in tandem with his next one, but we'll see that in just a minute. Basti has one, I think, is it her fourth? I don't remember which one, and I don't have it logged right now. Jeez. Hold on a sec. All right, we're back, folks, and it is her. Not this one. It's this apprentice. So she gains potency as well, and the character in the leader slot, they both gain foresight. It's not crazy strong. It's nice to start with foresight though, guys. Just adds another layer of survivability. All right, next is the weakest ones. All right, Nihilus is here. Not Nihilus, gosh. Darth Revan. This is the one that equalizes health with people. It's nice. It goes really nice with his survivability, where no one can assist on him. It's just very difficult to kill the man. Darth Vader, I really love his leadership. We just don't use it too often, guys. It is strong. It does some cool stuff. Sometimes it screws you, but overall, like all those stacks of dots, one of the most iconic and fun abilities in the game. Also one of the only abilities that goes away with for leadership with after the leader actually dies. For the most part, it persists. It doesn't with him. Scion, he's just not usable as much. We just put Sauvage with Treya, and so his stuff is okay, but all it is he inflicts pain for 3 turns on enemies who damaged him. Like, it's nice to give him pain for sure, bud, but you're just not that good. So that's all. You're being a pain. Darth Maul, his stuff is like, if you want to use him in like, he does some cool stuff. He gives all of his guys 20% turn meter and extra evasion, but then you all start with stealth. You have all these cool stuff, and this used to be the PvP meta. It's just sadly aged a little bit, and he's just not as good, folks. You need him at 7 for the what's it called, Leviathan. And that's it. All right, final 4 here, guys, and the squeaking sound you hear is just my desk. I have like a loose metal piece that keeps messing. So let's see. I think it's Riposte is his, and it's like, okay, he gets some cool stuff, I guess. I think that's the one yeah. So it's okay. He gets extra damage, he recovers, extra protection, he gains crit hit immunity when he's attacking out of turn. It's just like, if you get one really strong hit, he doesn't hit out of turn because he's dead. And, you know, you can only hope that Saruman has his level of resilience, or has a higher level of resilience. Now, we have Sidious here, and I know that his Omega, or Omicron, is a little bit better than people give it credit for. It's just territory war, so it's not as interesting to me. But the thing is, okay, so he gets all this stuff. He's just not a vital character. It's like, yeah, if you want to use him a lot, then sure, put his Zeta on. That's fine. It just ends up that he is just not that usable in other places of the game, unless it's territory wars, but then you have to put an Omicron on him. Sheesh. Nihilus is somehow the worst 2 Zetas in the game, folks. So, his leadership, it's not like terrible, but his guys can't crit while he's in there. And they get extra offense, but they can't crit, which is fine, and they only have health pool, but they're not protected the way Darth Vader, or Lord Vader's guys are. So you try to do a force drain on someone who has only health, and you just end up killing them instantaneously. So the leadership is not great. And then finally, the worst one in the game, because it actively screws you sometimes, well, the worst in this faction, I should say. At the start of each enemy turn, Nihilus inflicts health down on them for 2 turns. This happens to the point where he just gets feared all the damn time against Malgus, and it's like Treya would be a pretty good counter against Malgus, except for Nihilus, who is too busy fearing himself. He's just like huddled there like, oh, I can't do anything, I'm scared. And people are like, what are you doing? He's just sitting there. You can't tell. They think he's being stoic, but he's afraid. So that's it, guys. Exposed damage and force drain stuff. It's very sad. Very sad for the Eater of Worlds, someone who actually just kills everyone on planets. It's not sad. I hope he dies. Guys, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. What did I miss? What did I get wrong on the balance? Go check out that infographic, of course, if you want to, on the Discord server. And remember that in all things, ZETAs prevails.